And I could start off by saying, out of all four majors, I think this one was the best major out of all four of them, I believe. The Optic Major was wild, but whatever. It was pretty one-sided with the fans, whatever. There was not enough upsets and ups and downs and roller coasters. Major 2 was the one that LAG won. Yes. LAG won, and that was crazy. But they went like game 5, like almost every game. It was crazy. But that one was like, shocking, whatever. And then like the Seattle one happened. I forgot like basically almost having that major besides Seattle winning. It was not that shocking. But this one had the storylines. It had a good host. It had a good major host. And like the walkouts were great. The vibes were great. Home crowd was great. No filter, by the way. I'm not going to go through every single match. I'm just going to kind of skim over this, give quick thoughts. But overall, LA Thieves winning just shows you that this game is like really about who's in form and who comes firing. But if you were to ask me, like, if every team was playing at their best, who would win a major or a tournament, I'd probably say FaZe. Like, if every team's firing on all cylinders, if we had every team at their best, every single team playing like the best they could play, I still think FaZe is like the best team in the CDL. But Thieves came out firing, and Thieves beat them twice on LAN, back to back. And I mean, I even said I knew my predictions were going to be wrong right away. You could compare my bracket to this one, completely off. I knew after I just got to look at the first game and saw what happened, I'd kind of be able to like read the room on what would happen. So like, Ravens were up 2-0. Then they came back on. I was kind of like, oh shit, all right. And then after they lost that, I knew when they went down to the losers bracket, they're going to lose again. I just had no faith in them making a losers bracket run. I just knew it'd be chalked after like they lost. And Ultra got smoked by the Thieves, actually. That game was fucking, like, if you went for like a small little run around your neighborhood and came back, that series was over. And like, I thought FaZe was going to beat them. But after, when they lost him the first time and then they met again in losers finals, I knew they're going to lose again. It's like, after like you see how things play out at the major, like they're pretty predictable. After every team like plays like their first game, like you kind of like get a sense. And I'm going to get into like the Rocker one in a completely different video, but they had two winnable series here. If they won that, they could have had the easy bracket that Subliners had, the easy road to the finals. They're up 2-0, literally smoking Subliners, like smoking them like a spliffy, bro, smoking them. And then they just like lost composure, forgot how to play, came back on. Like, after you saw the second map, you probably would have thought it was over. People were making tweets. Everyone, Scrimtel, Intel, everyone was just saying they're getting McFried, all that shit. And then they just fucking came back. Like, literally nobody had hope Subliners were coming back. The audience was so dead after that map, too. And then they brought it back. When have you ever seen a Call of Duty game where a team... Like, obviously, there's been O2 comebacks in Call of Duty, every Call of Duty. But, like, when have you ever seen in a game, I don't think it's ever happened in a game besides Vanguard, where a team literally got, like, what is the most, like, devastating word I could say that will not get me in trouble? Because it was literally, it was, like, it was a crime what was happening on that stage. They were literally fucking taking the piss on them. They were taking the piss. I can't even think of any like foul word. Like, this game was not close. When have you ever seen a Call of Duty where a team was literally like, Subliners had no fucking hope when they're down 2-0, like, and that team just randomly comes back? And I just like, after like seeing that comeback and like seeing the comeback in this, I realized that like Control is like so bad. Control is so bad because it was like the catalyst. Like, if it was a hardpoint S&D hardpoint or like a hardpoint S&D like uplink, I feel like all these would have been like 3-0s. But Control is like a swing mode because it's like so defense heavy. So if you just like, if you get defense first, which if I had to guess, if I went back on these, Ultra and Subliners probably had fucking defense first, which means like they got in like the last round. But like, actually, I think that one was like a 3-0 and like Control was like a 3-1. But Control is just such a bad game mode, and it's like the only game mode that I like skipped the majority of these seasons. I didn't even watch in the final. Every time there was a control, I skipped it. Skipped it in most series. I just don't like watching it. It's very boring, especially when you get Tuscan control. It's like every team's gonna win defense. You get the odd time where it's like a 3-1, 3-0, but whatever. But like control is such a bad game mode where I was just like thinking if it was any other game, any other like third game mode, these would be 3-0s. Like these would be 3-0s, but that's swing mode. And then when you lose that control and you go into like the hard point, like you're kind of nervous because you're like, uh-oh, if we lose this hard point, it's going to go into an S&D, which is like super mixy no matter how good your S&D is. I feel like that's how every team was thinking, like going into like game 4 hard point, they're like, we can't lose this. And when like you're like so focused on not fucking up, you fuck up. And Rocker fucks up a lot on their own doing, by the way. But I'm going to get into that in like a whole solo video for Rocker. But control is such a swing mode in all these series. I thought Breach was going to win. They lost. I knew Munir was going to lose the second they got to an even better team than Breach. Breach has just been like an average team coasting. I knew they would beat Surge. I just had a feeling Surge was the Major 3 champions. Frying, Pred. And like in this game, I felt like Pred was like doing it all. Pred could do no wrong and they lost. I know like he's probably not going to say anything, but I know he was pissed because if anyone else was like frying with him for even like a map that they lost, like they won. He was good on every single map, frying every single map. He like I was literally watching him every single game. He could do no wrong. Every single map, and they lost. Those are the most fucking devastating ones when you feel like you played like your best series and you still lose. But like even though Pred was doing it all, they still lost because it's a team effort. And then I knew they would lose to Optic, pretty predictable. Ultra had such a easy winnable series against Optic, but they choked. That was like they said on the flank, that was like a few gunfights and a few mistakes away from it probably being a 3-1. And even in like the game 5, Kemi had like a big 1v1, which I think he got joked on because it looked like he saw him first, shot him first, but fucking Shotzi just him with the fucking movement and just fucking evaporated him. So that happened. And then Optic, who's had FaZe's number forever, I just had a feeling it was going to go the opposite way. Like, just something about this major, Optic was not playing good in all these series. They got a lucky win, in my opinion, against Rocker. People would say, like, if they vetoed out Bocage, this could have been like a 3-1. I could agree, but since Bocage was in there, I feel like Rocker had a winnable series. They lost. They're playing Breach. It was not that close. Against Ultra, they showed a lot of weakness. So I was thinking, against an even better team like FaZe, they're going to most likely lose, even though FaZe lost to Thieves. I knew they're going to win, and then they got the Thieves again. I'm like, Thieves are probably going to beat them again because, like, FaZe just has not been playing their best. Mutineers, easy loss. I knew LAG was going to beat Ravens, like I said, because Ravens dropped, and then I knew when they played FaZe, it was going to be over, and knew Paris Legion was going to make it by FaZe. And I knew after Subliners beat Rocker, they're going to have an easy run. Mutineers, whatever. I just knew like they're going to have the momentum on their side, especially when it got to this game and it's like one more series and we make it to the finals. But then after they got finals, I kind of felt like in their minds, probably like the job was done and they went up 2-0 and then like these started coming back best of 9, and then it was like kind of like you kind of got the feeling these were probably gonna win. And it was a great final because I didn't care who won. Like I had no like heart in any of these teams. Like they're just like teams to me, and I was happy with whoever won. If New York won their home major, I'd be like great. If Thieves won, fucking great. So Thieves ended up winning. They were frying this event. Like they were getting flack the whole season about changes. And I was just like, I kind of agreed with them making a change, like a roster change. But like, I was like, who's going to replace who? I feel like every player on that team was like, it's like FaZe. It's like, if you were to make a roster change, who do you replace? Everyone is good. They just have to like get more synergy. And at this event, we saw synergy. And they were just frying. Granted, they lost that, but they lost to the Subliners. But Subliners was on a momentum train. But then the momentum train was kind of over in the finals, even though they wanted to win. But like they knew their job was done. So even though like they're still probably playing their hearts out to win, and I also feel sorry for Kismet. He was frying in this finals, and even like in like the winners finals, he was. It was like another Prince situation where you just like someone's doing really well and you still lose. It's like fucking demoralizing. You're like fuck. If like someone else is like super frying with them, I feel like they could have won. Like Kismet could do no wrong, just like Pred could do no wrong, and then they still lost. But yeah, overall, like Friday and Saturday, I think especially Saturday, I'd have to go back on the schedule and look, but like those days were so much fun and like so drama filled, up and downs. It was so fucking great. And then after Sunday hit and it was like the top four teams, like I kind of already had a feeling I was gonna play out. After like the winners final, I didn't know who was gonna win the winners final, but after that played out, I didn't really know who was gonna win finals either. But like after they dropped down, I knew FaZe would beat Optic, I knew fucking Thieves would beat FaZe, and then whatever happened. So Sunday I was kind of like not as into, surprisingly, even though it's like the fucking championship Sunday. Like I didn't really care for some reason. Like these are like the four best teams in like the CDL, but for some reason I didn't even care. But you know, it is what it is. But Friday and Saturday were so much fun. I think Friday, was it Friday? I'd have to go back on the schedule and look. But those days were fucking lit. So much shit was happening. It was awesome. But then, yeah, but those are my overall thoughts on the major. I thought it was a great major. I'd probably put it number one, and then I'll probably put, if I had to rank them, a lot of people probably put major one as like their favorite one, obviously, because Optic won. But like, I would rank them like major 4, number 1, major 3, number 2, major 2, number 3, major 1, number 4. If I had to pick. Champs predictions, we'll do that another time. But I just want to get my quick thoughts on like the major. I thought it was a really good major. Surprisingly, I didn't really care about Championship Sunday, but I already said that. But yeah,